Good evening. I wanted to talk about the bond for just a little bit this evening and again remind the citizens that we have alternatives to going into debt. And then I did have a question in regards to the bond amount for the streets. You had indicated that you were going to request a bond for, well, you are requesting a bond for $7,400,000, and it's to be used for Meade Crown Drive, Crestway Drive, and Eagle Crest Boulevard. That got me looking at that particular August meeting that you held at 8:30 in the morning and looking at the street committee's hard work and their suggestions. And I noticed that they did have a figure that addressed those particular streets, and just those. And it was only $6,005,000. So I was wondering why you chose to take it up to the $7,000,004, which were those streets and a number of other streets that were supposed to be part of that project. But yet, on the bond language, you're only mentioning the 3 streets. So I think there needs to be some clarification maybe about why that particular figure was used rather than going with the figure that was presented to you from your street committee. And as I mentioned earlier, we have other options instead of going into debt. We have sales tax, a whole cent that we get to use for the improvement of our community. As I have expressed in the past, possibly unpopularly, is that we have an EDC that has functioned quite well for our city. And I think it's time that we evaluate whether or not they need over $600,000 a year for their particular budget. This year, I think they've budgeted about $208,000. It comes to mind. I could be wrong on that figure. So they definitely have revenue that they're not actualizing at this point. So I would encourage residents to look at their sales tax information. If you don't know what it is, I'm sure you can call someone on the council and they'll explain to you how that's broken down and what it goes for. But that's a definite option that we have rather than going into debt.